As you know, every collegiate coach's dream is to be out, going through the entire NCAA dance and being the last team standing under a shower of confetti, being able to hoist a national championship with your university's name plastered on the front. However, as many of you know, at the end of the season, only one team can be so lucky to be named the victor. Anson Dorrance, the head UNC women's soccer coach, the man behind the 22 national championships and highest winning percentage for any NCAA coach, said, "The big goals are all cliches. It's the small goals that really drive progress, and data drives every action you take." So every team, starts the season and wants to win the national championship. But if everybody said that and then everybody did it, it wouldn't be helpful. So the difference he's saying is that you have this overhead goal of winning a national championship, but it's the day-to-day actions, the daily goals that you set for yourself to drive improvement, to drive progress, that are going to allow you to be successful to achieve this overhead goal. So we've been working closely with Anson Dorrance, and we'd like to present to you advanced sports analytics, in which we're patenting his software and his methodology of the 22 national championships and applying it to collegiate universities nationwide. So we're really excited about the team that we're working with. So in addition to myself and Kealia Ohai, who have been through the UNC women's soccer program and now play professionally, and Jake Mendys, who's part of the UNC men's basketball program, we've been working with the likes of Anson himself, Mia Hamm, who is one of the world's greatest female soccer players of our time, and Heather O'Reilly, another UNC alum and 3-time gold medalist, all putting feedback and shaping how we'd like to develop this software to help programs take their game to the next level. So a little validation for the program. Dean Smith, the most winningest basketball coach at UNC, said UNC is a women's soccer school, and the rest of us are trying to keep up. Pete Carroll, a well-esteemed football coach, credits Anson Dorrance's competitive cauldron to the success that he has seen, both winning a national championship at USC and also winning the Super Bowl with the Seattle Seahawks. He also implements Anson's competitive cauldron that I'll later get into as to why his teams are so successful. And then lastly, Mia Hamm, she says that what Anson does in his methodology with this software that I'm going to roll out for you creates this competitive environment that not only drives your own performance, but finds ways to drive the performance of those around you as well. So this is the current situation. This is actually a picture from Anson's office. What we do is we take an immense amount of data at every practice, every drill, everything that you're doing, he is taking data. He wants to know exactly what you're doing at all times. So it's not only just the game performance, but what you're doing day in and day out. So are you going to meet these daily goals? And these margins, they add up. So at the end of the season, when you're in the NCAA tournament, and when you're competing for the championship, this is going to separate the good teams from these small goals that drive performance. And so we have all these numbers and all this data collection. But it works for UNC, and we have this strange process, but we want to make it scalable so that teams across the country can have access to it. So we're going to make it nice and simple and sleek. We're going to streamline it and put it all on the iPad. So what you're going to do is you're going to have your roster, and you're going to have the data collection right there, but it's not just basic data collection, shot and goal, but it's taking it to another level and having these specific details. Okay, it takes a shot on goal. Is it low? Is it across the frame? Is it bent? These little indicators, so it's going to help coaches shape how they're evaluating their players. So not everybody has a mindset like Anson, but we're giving you the mindset by putting all the categories that you want to evaluate on your teams into the iPad so that you know what you need to correct your players on so that you can, again, get these margins, taking a good player to great. And ultimately, when you do all the individual pieces and elevate their game, the team as a whole is going to be that much more successful. So how exactly does this work? So ASA, like I said, managers are going to collect the stats and the data on the iPads during practice. After each practice or game, the information is going to be uploaded on the cloud. So now this is a software as a service, so we're going to have in-house consultants analyzing the data that you've collected and help produce meaningful projections as to where your team stands as a whole and where each individual player stands and what they need to work on, whether it's crossing inside the 18 or shots on your left foot. And it's going to help players take this unfathomable amount of data and make something meaningful and drive their acceleration so that when you see where you're ranked, I'm forward and I'm finishing 12th on the team, that's unacceptable. And so you kind of get competitive and build this competitive culture that Pete Carroll was talking about, really driving performance and really pushing players to reach their potential day in and day out. Like I said on the right, it's going to develop player growth at an unprecedented rate. So who exactly are we going to target? So our beachhead customer is going to be UNC Women's Soccer. We're going to work closely with Anson to develop a minimum viable product, see what he likes, and then we're going to spread, as I said, this product is very versatile, as Pete Carroll's had extreme success with it, and go to basketball, baseball, softball, football. So we have a lot of customer potential, but we're going to originally roll out with women's soccer because that's where our network is, and that's where we're going to establish credibility. We've done a little bit of competitive analysis, and so there are some competitors in this space, but we have 3 unique competitive advantages. One, we're working closely with Anson Dorrance, as I mentioned, in his 22 national championships. We have hard facts and data that prove that his solution works and is successful. Second, we're doing it on a day-to-day basis. A lot of software companies do game analysis software, but nobody does the every single day practice and game, so that's going to further drive our competitive advantage. And third, it's going to be immediately on the cloud, and we're going to have in-house consultants to help coaches who aren't as educated as Anson in soccer or Hubert Davis in basketball, and help them make meaningful conclusions from this data. I'm going to pass it over to Jake, who's going to explain how exactly we're going to roll out this product.
So we're targeting a fall 2015 release for our product. We're going to use the next 8 months, hopefully, to develop our minimum viable product. And as Lana was saying before, we think that it's applicable at the collegiate level, the amateur high school level, and at the elite club level. And so from there, we would like to use a trial with our beachhead customers here and then partner with ODP, which is an elite training ground for some of the best players in the country for soccer. And we would hopefully have all the coaches there analyzing their players, and they would see the value that our product creates, and then they'd be able to take our product back with them and become subscribers. So after they've been at ODP, they're like, oh wow, Anson really knows what he's doing with this product. We want to take this home with us. And then from there, we would like to, in 2017 or 2018, we believe we will have established ourselves and gained sufficient traction to scale into basketball as well. I've been working with my coach, Hubert Davis, on this, and he thinks that this is a software that would work very well in the basketball field as well. So 2018 is when we're targeting our rollout. We would use a similar strategy where we would partner with AAU basketball and Nike's Elite Youth Basketball League to sort of show coaches what our product is capable of, and then from there, scale our product amongst elite club levels and so on. So our financial feasibility, we think that within 2 years, we will have gained sufficient traction. We will be generating approximately $336,000 in revenues by 2017. In 2017, we would also release our next product and further grow our revenues. We use extremely conservative estimates and assumptions in our revenue model, so that we think that there's a huge addressable market out there, but we didn't want to get ahead of ourselves with thinking that everyone's going to buy into our product right away. So from there, we're asking for $220,000 to help develop our service, to pay our engineers who can develop this software product for us. Again, we're advanced sports analytics, the proven formula for developing players at an unprecedented rate. Thank you so much for your time. We're now taking any questions.
How did you go back to the
Like I said, we project a break even after about 2 years. We use really conservative estimates. We only had about 10 customers in this model, but we think that we could reach many more people than just 10 collegiate programs.
So how do you know that some other coach can take this process and this program and make it work? That's one thing that's not clear to me. And not only in another sport, but even within soccer, it's not clear how you would be able to just be a whole consulting team to help the coach and have to put the system all together. How do you think that will work?
Absolutely. So in addition to the software, a lot of Anson's success comes from the environment itself that he creates, and this software helps facilitate that process of making a more competitive practice environment and game environment. So the software is constantly taking statistics on the players. So now you can't just, for teams that aren't in the top 10 programs, you can't just stroll to practice and have an okay practice and then say whatever, there's going to be no repercussions. Now you're getting recorded, and these stats are going to be shown up. So if you're going neck and neck with somebody for the left mid position, you're going to be constantly compared on a variety of characteristics.
I understand that works.
Yeah.
But different coaches have different personalities. How do you know that another coach is successfully implementing this? We gotta have different philosophies altogether.
Absolutely. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
And just, our product is versatile, so Anson has a set of drills that he likes to do and induce, but if a coach has a different personality or a different way of running his practices, the software is versatile enough that you can incorporate that coaching style. So it doesn't have to be exactly everything that Anson does. You can say, hey, I really like this drill, I really want to incorporate this, and you can kind of mold it to your coaching philosophy. So we're just helping you create the environment, helping you collect the correct statistics, and then you can mold it and shape it to whatever coaching philosophy you like to adopt.
It's sort of piggybacks on this. You said there were in-house consultants that eventually will work on this data. And what is an in-house consultant? What is it? How do they get to that position? How do you become an in-house consultant on sports data that you're just analyzing that and able to help the coach with that?
Absolutely. Well, me, myself, and my team at Kealia, Ohai have gone through the UNC process. And so we've had experience with Anson's methodologies. So we know what the data is. He takes so many stats, it's almost overwhelming. So if you were just to give somebody the hard data, it would be hard to draw a meaningful conclusion. So the in-house consultants, somebody that's knowledgeable of the game and maybe even knowledgeable at Anson, about Anson's philosophies, can look at all the data and then kind of shape it for the coach. So to take all that hard numbers and give them a more simplified version of those numbers so that he can have an overview. So how one would be an in-house consultant, I think Kealia and I myself would start out as being the in-house consultants. We'd only have 10 clients, so it'd be very manageable for 2 individuals. We could ultimately train, as once our company becomes an increase in size, we can train more individuals with a soccer background. Here's the things to look for. I mean, once you figure out what you need to look for, it's pretty straightforward, just cookie cutter, here's these numbers, this is where we need to grow, that sort of thing.
Like I said, we're being extremely conservative. We've looked at some comparable companies that offer less in terms of the service that they provide, and they charge up thousands of dollars for their product. And these assumptions we had 10 collegiate programs, about 10 high school programs, and we grew very slowly just because it would be absurd to think that we could just grow from 0 to 100.
So the salaries for both of you?
So the salary is for the sales team. That was using 2 people, and then we had 2 product engineers as well.
A college students.
Yeah. Yes, it's a very humble beginning.
What's the price of the product?
We charge $9,000 for women's soccer, men's and women's soccer programs to use it at the college level, and then $2,000 for high school teams and club teams to use. And then with the eventual rollout of the basketball product, just because there's more money behind basketball as a sport, we charge $15,000 at the Division I level, and then the same $2,000 price point.
That's for the time, or is it for the?
That's an annual subscription.
Additionally, like I said, these estimates for pricings are very humble. I actually had the opportunity to look at the financials for a company very similar to what we do, but does not offer nearly as much of product offerings. And the U.S. national team paid upwards of $70,000 for this similar service, but not nearly as impactful. And other collegiate programs pay around $22,000. So we just want to get our feet wet, kind of get our name out there, and then once we gain traction, ultimately we can elevate the price point once we build credibility.
We don't want to alienate anyone by being the new kid on the block charging way too much money for something that hasn't really established itself other than the Nancy Moore's brand.
For the annual subscription, I get some sort of analysis.
Yes, so it's a software as a service, and so what you do is you get the software downloaded on your iPads and computers and stuff like that, so you have the data collection, so it's shaping your practice structure and building that competitive environment. Additionally, you submit that data into the cloud, and then you're getting the consultant service that's making meaningful assumptions or meaningful conclusions from that data and giving you helpful tips as to what to work on and where certain players need to improve as a team. Who owns the cloud? It'd be our company itself. Just be all the teams upload it to a cloud. Players and coaches can have access to all the hard data, and then we would pull that information down from our own cloud, make the analysis, and then send it back to you.
It's not about privacy and security. These coaches are very competitive. But you would like to know what they're doing.
That's also true. I think we would have to have like a confidentiality agreement, so assuming we would just give them the password to have access to only their portion of the cloud, so when they log on, they only see their team's components. Yeah, that would be a potential threat, but hopefully longer flights would be a standing here. We can put it like this for a little bit. I forgot to learn my range.